Hey y'all, welcome back to Cajun Country Livin.
Today we're going to get diving back into our container shop. We have finally got a break from the rain. So we're ready to get back in full force. Looks like we're going to be doing some iron working today.
So in the previous video, we had gone and got this I-beam. Now, it has some leftover metal on it. It's got some wood. It's got some rusty nails. It really looks a little bit rough at this point. So we're gonna have to do some TLC today. But before we do that, we really gotta figure out exactly how we want this to lay out.
Yeah, this piece of I-beam does need a little love, but it was FREE. That's the most important thing. What we were originally gonna do is we were gonna take this I-beam, we're gonna take the torch and set up a track and cut it down the web of the beam, and we were gonna make two T's. We were gonna take that T and put it on top, make us a brace and a foundation for the next two containers that's going to be landing on the top of these base containers. But just by chance, this free piece of I-beam happens to be almost exactly the length that we would need for each side. So we're just going to have to chop this puppy in half, clean it up, and get to weld.
Well, the reason that we were going to be cutting this into that T instead of leaving it as the I was that we really didn't think we were going to have enough. Yes, he has some more of this stuff, but we really wanted to use the minimal amount that we needed to. So that was why we originally had planned to do the T, which I mean, it would still work like that, but why do the extra work if we have enough here?
And there is no I in T. You ready?
Okay, are you torching or are you gonna grind, or am I gonna grind and you're gonna torch? What are you thinking?
Well, I got the cutoff wheel. If you can start cutting these bolts maybe for all this wood. And I got my safety Crocs on, so I can start using the torch to cut it apart.
Perfect. Just don't put them in four-wheel drive. That's trying too hard.
No sport mode today. I got the welds washed off really good, I think, but I'm rusty. I have my attitude adjusting hoodus right here. So me and the attitude adjusting hoodus is going to apply some minimal pressure just to see if this thing will just, you know.
I would never in my life want to be on the other side of that hammer.
It just seems a little rough.
All right, you want me to give it a go this time? Alright, so everything that you see here is everything that we took off of the beam. We clearly won't be saving, well, most of it, but we will be keeping the small pieces of metal, and you never know whenever those are going to come in handy.
We have one more little piece that we need to trim up, then I think we can call this good. The I-beam needs to sit flush against the side of the container, so I have to trim this off right here so that it will be flat with the other two pieces, because if it's not, this end of the I-beam is going to be kicked out and we don't need that. So I'm just going to take this gas hatchet and I'm going to chop it off right about there.
Thinking places where you spend your time. Ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter.
The overall length of these two containers side by side is 16 foot, but we took off for the corner post that is already there. The corner sticks out from the container and we need the beam right up against the side of the container, so we didn't take off for the corner originally, but now that we've seen it and got it here in person, we decided that we are just going to go ahead and take off for that much. That makes for an overall length of 15 foot 5 inches. We're going to use all red here to counterbalance the weight so we don't have one end hitting the slab whenever we start cutting. And apparently we both forgot how to use a tape measure at this point because it took us a lot longer than we like to admit to find half of 15.5, but eventually we got it.
We need to slide the beam down just a few inches to center it. That way this section of beam is setting right in the center of these forks. It'll keep it from falling after it's cut off. I know it sounds confusing, but trust me, it will work.
Take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Take me all around to thinking places where you spend your time. There ain't no place I'd rather go. You're a funny little critter and I love you so. And take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind. Yeah, I wanna take a ride in the wheelbarrow in your mind.
With all the rain that we've been having, it really stirs up the wildlife even more than usual, which means we see a lot of crawfish crossing the road, tons more frogs than usual, alligators laying on the banks of the roads, and turtles just fill our pond. But that's just part of living in South Louisiana, and I love it and wouldn't have it any other way. Now, several years ago, we stocked our pond with all the fish that we would want to have in it. And we don't want a bunch of turtles going in there and eating all of our fish. We set a hoop net in the pond a few days ago, and we'll keep running this thing every few days until we start noticing that there are less and less turtles in the pond. Now, this is the first time we've ran the net since we set it out, and we caught 14 turtles. You know, we're really fortunate to be only a buggy ride away from the river bottom, so we can release these turtles right back into their natural habitat and get them away from our stocked fish pond.
I'm sure we'll be making this trip many more times over the course of this summer, and there is no telling how many of these things we're going to end up catching this year.
Did y'all know that weighted blankets can actually help to boost your mood?
And I got this one from Italic.
The actual weight of the blanket stimulates the production of the feel-good hormones and increases energy levels. Weighted blankets are commonly used to help reduce anxiety as well. When weight is distributed across your body, it actually reduces the amount of stress hormones, calming the fight or flight response. It can also help to improve sleep as well. With all the same benefits of a typical chunky weighted blanket, this luxe weighted blanket has a more elegant design that fits into any high-end bedroom or anywhere you like to take a nap. Use our code Lydia15 at checkout for a discount and find all the information below in the description.
Well, here we are, day 2, the next morning of the I-beam project, and I find myself sitting down on the job. But I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to go ahead and address this elephant in the room. And yes, I totally understand that I was cutting metal on top of wood and burning this general vicinity right here on the trailer. Yeah, it is kind of unsightly, but hey, let me tell you, as y'all know, we have some friends up there in the great northern cold state of Minnesota, and they're the Life of Pines. Their names were Teddy and Jenna. And if they've taught me anything following along with them and watching their journey, it's that a little fire don't do nothing but help wood. I mean, they have built this amazing platform for an above ground tree house overlooking a Lake Hootis. It is outstanding. And that's how they preserve their wood. They actually got a weed burner and burnt this whole structure. It is amazing to see. Now, I'd like to lie to you and tell you that was my thoughts here. But bringing in the point, ain't gonna hurt the old trailer.
So what you're saying is if you would have burnt the entire trailer, it would have made a lot of sense. But since you only burned that one spot, it doesn't.
Yeah, I kind of did good by accident. But we can't really burn the whole trailer. We'll melt all the paint off. So we're just gonna settle for one spot that's got character.
Yeah, at least that one spot will be treated, right?
That's right.
So today we are going to be taking that I-beam that we cut off yesterday and placing it up on top of the container, welding it in place, and having it set. But before we do that, we need to get everything out of the way because, of course, we decided to work right where we need to get to. I know, shocker. It seems like any project that we do, we always end up working right in the exact space that we need to be in. So we're going to get everything cleaned up today that we left out yesterday. That way, whenever it's time to pull the tractor up, we'll be able to pull it right up to the spot, get it lifted up in the air high enough, and hopefully it'll all go well. Hopefully it won't fall. Fingers crossed.
Ain't no hopefully. It's gonna go off without a hitch. It is such a beautiful day. I know it's overcast, but man, you cannot help but go outside on a day like today and get a smile smeared all over your face. Huh? No rain. It's beautiful. What a beautiful morning.
So I know I touched a little bit on how we were going to be moving this I-beam from point A to point B, but there's a lot more than just a toss her on up there aspect to this situation.
Our main priority right now is to get this thing put in place and at least get it tack welded in position to where it won't move. We're going to put this up there, get it put exactly where it's going to go, make sure it's level and welded in position. Then we can come back later and start building and welding in the stand pipes, which is going to go from the bottom of the I-beam all the way to the concrete. So we get that done. That's going to get us completely joined to the container with the support from the concrete as well. So it's going to have 3 support columns, the support of the container,
The support of the slab,
the support of the ground,
the support of the pipe that's underneath the ground.
moral support.
All support. Honestly, sweetheart, I'm really a little bit nervous about this one.
There's not a whole lot that could go wrong. I mean, the worst that could happen is you could drive both of these forks in through the side of this container and tear 2 big holes in it. And then the tractor keep going and push it, break all the welds, flip the tractor over backward. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that can happen.
No, I'm more worried about the I-beam flipping off and hitting you.
It's not gonna hit me. That's like trying to throw a marble at a cat squirrel. That is not gonna happen. Easy boy.
At least it's not windy today, again.
It never fails. Every time we come out here, it is a Category 8 swamp, okay? You got this. You just have to be a little bit delicate, that's all.
Just a little bit, okay. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I can do
Yeah,
that.
that's not really your strong suit, but I know you got it. Easy, easy. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good, slow and easy. That container's got a little bow in it right there, and it won't let me get that I-beam pushed up against our flat. It's got that little bow in it. So I'm gonna get on old Blue, get on the end of it with that bucket and hold it up. And I need you to bring these forks around and put inside the web of that beam. Just put them in there. That way, whenever we pick it up and get it level, you can push it in and we can roll that bow out of that container. Seems legit.
I think he's overestimating the skills that I have in this tractor. Oh man. Okay. Well, worst thing I can do is poke a hole through something.
See if you can get off of it with your tractor and then put that forks on the inside of that beam. You're not going to believe this, but it's almost perfect.
Well, here. Hurry. Hurry.
I got to bump this. It's just really not at a level enough to worry about, but I'm going to bump the loader up a little bit on this side just to try to get it perfect, and I'll go ahead and tack it. We'll be ready to weld it out. Turned out perfect. Only took 2 tractors, ratchet straps, 4-foot levels, grinders, welding machine.
And a great attitude.
Upbeat attitude, that's right. It's a beautiful morning. Come on, everybody.
So right now, it is tacked in place.
I mean, it was only a mild fiasco, you know? Anytime you're doing something that's heavy, overhead lifting, has to be perfectly placed, it's usually always a nightmare, but that really wasn't too painful.
No, it wasn't bad.
The container's got a little slight bow in it right there. So we put that up, no, could be the I-beam. I-beam could have had a little bow in it. So I was wanting to kind of rainbow away from the container. So I had to run over there and grab old Blue, hold the end of the I-beam up, and Lydia got inside the beam and pushed the beam straight into the container and took that bow out or put a bow in.
Whatever
the case may be, we got her flat and it's all tacked in place. So now we got to start working on supports, getting pipe cut, getting flat plate cut, getting this welded out to at least a stitch weld on each of these ribs.
You know what else?
We got to make
too?
sure that it's strong.
Well, and you know what else too?
What?
Is if it stays like this and that wind keeps drying all this up, we're probably going to be able to move that other container a lot sooner than we originally had planned as well.
That'd be nice. Hey, we already have the I-beam. Another container, get it welded in place, I-beam, and then as soon as it gets dry enough, it'll be crane time. 2 stored container hooters right here.
Now that's going to be a massive undertaking. All right, well, I guess I'm going to go in, put some coffee on, and can have you a cup whenever you get done welding.
That's great. I swear, you get one little cracked weld, one little tiny cracked weld, not even your fault, then you got to stay out here and weld for the rest of the day. I might have wanted some coffee too. Coffee really don't sound bad. No, Jimbo, stay out here and finish welding. Got to pay for the past mistakes. Cracked weld. You did so good. You did really good.
Thanks.
Smooth, took your time, turning over a new leaf.
It's like I've done this before.
What is the
it's
deal
like I'm
with
a
that?
professional goat farmer or something.
Yeah, you're like taking it easy now and like
Nailing it.
making
Goat
gingerly type moves.
Goat farmer.
What is up with
I'm
it?
telling you.
Goat farming's being good for you.